Hi, friends. Welcome to Choose You, Create What You Crave. Guys, I am Coach Julie. I'm excited to be here with you guys today. I know many of you know me, work with me, have walked alongside me in different seasons of life, and I'm just excited to have this page here to bring you more, to share more of all of the things that I have learned in my years, not only in business, but in my contending for my own health, my own mindset, coming back from a place in my life where I truly felt at rock bottom. And I believe if I can, anyone can. I also believe that when we simplify our life, we amplify it. When I work with people about creating what they ultimately crave in their life, it isn't about adding more. It is about taking away. It is about understanding and gaining clarity for what you want to create. And I'm really excited about the commitment code because this is the biggest problem I see, regardless of whether someone is contending for their health, financial health, commitment to a project, work, career. You can leverage these concepts that I'm going to give you today in almost all areas of your life. So I'm really excited to just share. If this resonates with you, if this is something you want more of, please leave some feedback in the comments at the end. I'm going to ask you to comment along this journey with me, and I would love for you to engage with this particular post and concept so I know if it's something that you want more or less of. I want to show up here and really provide you with what you want and need and are looking for. And I am an open book. So lean in if you have questions, lean in if you have concerns, but let's get started. So today is all about one of my new favorite topics because I used to be terrible at committing for the long term. I would stop and start, right? And I see a lot of my clients do that, right? The stop start mindset. This is the problem, right? We think we can achieve something in a certain amount of time that maybe isn't actually realistic. We have the all or nothing approach, right? Another big problem that I see. And we expect we procrastinate and expect perfection, right? So if we can't have what we think we should have in the time that we want it in, then we procrastinate, we push it off, right? And this can ripple through our health. This could ripple through our bank accounts and our careers. So I'm excited to show you and share with you. I'm not going to do a PowerPoint or anything, guys. I have some fun drawings for you. But I want to talk real quick about why I feel like this happens. It becomes a habit. I think first and foremost, it is a habitual response that has been ingrained in us for almost lifelong, right? We probably watched our parents to some degree, or our guardians to some degree, start and stop in their life in things that they really wanted, right? It got hard and they self-sabotaged. It got hard and they weren't willing to push through, so they stopped. And this cycle of start and stop is something that we're just familiar with. It's just what we do. It becomes a habit. We lose trust in our ability to push through when it gets hard. We lose trust in our ability to keep at something and keep recommitting. It truly is a trust in ourselves. I really believe that confidence comes from repetition and action. When I used to coach my young softball athletes, right? They were 6, 7, 8 years old. Through strength, repetition, and that support, they eventually gained confidence in themselves. But if they threw the bat off to the side, guess what, guys? They were not giving themselves giving themselves a chance to learn to trust the process. All right. And we do it as adults constantly. We do it as adults. We suck at recommitting. The end of the day. Number 3, I think this is why we often do that. It's because we overcommit. We overcomplicate. Our expectations are very, very high for ourselves. We set ourselves up for failing before we even start, and then we bail because we know we're going to fail. So how do we strengthen the consistency muscle? That's what this is about today. But before I even go there, in the comment section, let me know if any of this has resonated with you. Are you a stop starter? Are you the 30-day fixer? Are you the all or nothing approach? Do you procrastinate because you think it needs to be perfect? And why bother starting if you can't go all in on all the things to all your expectations? Do you feel like this has become a habit for you? Is this habitual? Is it learned? Where does it come from for you? Do you feel like you've kind of lost confidence and trust in yourself? Like you've tried everything. Let's look in the world of health, right? You've tried every diet, every gym, every CrossFit class, and you're still not making the progress that you want. Have you lost trust in you? Do you find that you show up with these new goals and big aspirations? Take January 1, for example, and you're like the 85 to 90% who stop by week 2? Are you overcomplicating? What resonates with you? Where do you feel like you are? Let's just self-reflect for a moment, because with awareness comes power to make a decision. And the word decision means to cut off. Something has to go in order for you to commit and recommit. We can't keep adding. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But how do we strengthen? Where do we even start with committing to ourselves over and over again? Committing to the things that we said we're going to do. It starts with mindset. It starts above the shoulders and between the ears. So I made this shift several years ago, and it's made all the difference. All the difference. And I can't wait to share it with you guys, because I know if you're willing to go there with me, it's going to make a difference for you. So many of us show up and we plan for our best day. Take, for example, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week for an hour. Seems reasonable, right? But you haven't been going to the gym at all for 3 years. There's a pretty big gap between not going for 3 years, a habit that is ingrained over 3 years of time, and telling yourself that you're going to start going 3 times a week for an hour. Now, for most of us, in our best weeks, when life is normal-ish, maybe not chaotic, maybe you don't have children and life, you don't have obligations, you don't have a career, and life is just kind of what you need it to be, right? When you need it to be it. That most of our lives are not like that, right? We have other things, other priorities, other things in our life that we are doing and maintaining. So adding 3 hours of another commitment, the drive there and 2, don't forget that. So let's just say 6 hours in an already busy week is a very lofty expectation when you haven't even done a minute yet. And that leads me to the mindset shift to plan for your worst day. Plan for a day where everything hits the fan, the kids are crazy, chaos happens, work is full throttle. Plan for that day when you start to set these new habits that you want to install. So what that might look like, and I know I'm using the reference of health a lot. I'm a health coach, right? I show up in people's lives to help them live an optimal life, right? To help them simplify their life so that they can contend and put their oxygen mask on and take care of themselves. It starts with your health, I believe. So I use a lot of these examples are going to be generated around that. But start there, right? So say you want to add a healthy, habit of motion to your life. Let's not start with the 6 hours a week driving to the gym, workout, come back from the gym. Let's start with a minute a day. How about 2 minutes? Okay, that might feel like, are you kidding me? Okay, maybe 3 minutes. 3 minutes a day. All right. What could that look like? A minute of jumping jacks, a minute of push-ups, a minute of squats. I guarantee you, if you do 3 minutes a day, right? Ask yourself, is there any reason why you couldn't? Is there anything in your life that'll stop you from doing 3 minutes a day? It feels doable, right? It feels realistic. It doesn't feel like another thing to add on to all the things. So let's start there. Start with 3 minutes a day. Plan for that worst day. Okay. So mindset. This was a hard one for me, guys. I had to shift from, I expect myself to do all this, to what can I expect from me on my worst day? and then do it daily. Because to install a habit, we have to do it over and over and over and over on a consistent basis, most likely daily when we're installing these kind of habits we're talking about. Okay, so we've made the mindset shift. We're willing to simplify. We're willing to lower the bar on our expectations. Now, the action becomes those itty bitty, small, tiny actions, those micro actions that are going to move you closer to that ultimate goal of yours, right? We've got to know where we want to land. Okay, but then we set ourselves up for success by taking small, minuscule action towards it. My guess is if you say, I'm going to walk 5 minutes a day on the treadmill, that 5 minutes will surely turn into 6 to 7 to 8. It is the act of doing that helps us get started with committing to ourselves over and over again. Okay, it's not the act of doing it for a long time. It's just the getting started. That is the key to recommitting and choosing every day to restart and start again. Okay, so action, itty bitty. Okay, here are some of my tips. Keep the action small. Plan for your worst day. You want another layer of accountability? Measure it. Write it down. Check boxes. Some of us love the feeling of checking things off the list or striking them out or adding a little smiley face. Every checkbox, every done deserves a celebration. Celebrate yourself for the small actions. Over time, when we celebrate ourselves scientifically, there is actually proof behind this. We train our bodies and our brains to show up the way we want them to as a response to situations. Okay, so when you celebrate yourself working out, your body is going to want to show up the next day and celebrate it. If you celebrate yourself for following your process of a good, healthy diet, maybe hydration, maybe it's sleep, maybe it's eating your veggies, right? Track it, celebrate it. It works, guys. It works. Okay, so I've got my notes here, as you've probably been noticing. I have a 3-day rule. That's my next tip. When you don't do something for 3 days, we need to recalibrate. There's no shame in that game, guys. Plan on it. Plan on phase planning. Sometimes after 3 days, you're like, okay, I'm just not doing it. What that usually means is, one, the objective, the action is too big. So that 3 minutes might be too big in a season of life. Bring it down to 2 or even 1. Remember, the win is in the doing, not in the how much you do, because the small action adds up over time. Okay. And the recommitment is less of a barrier when we have a minute versus an hour to do. There's some skill that goes with this, guys. So there's mindset, there's action that has to be taken, and then there's a skill. The skill is celebrating. The skill is saying, I did it. Maybe I didn't do how much I wanted to, right? The skill is recognizing the gain, not the gap. And then my last strategy, eliminate that which isn't working in your life. Eliminate that which isn't moving you closer to what you want. That may not mean the action that we're specifically talking about. It may be all the other things that you're doing that you're just doing by default. So I do this every 30 days. You can pick your rhythm. I call it we simplify to amplify, but we use add to simplify. So basically what you're looking at, add, it's an acronym, okay? I automate, delegate, and delete. This is a filter. I add to my life by automating, deleting, and delegating. This is probably the most important one, guys, because we're in a society that chronically adds more stuff to our plates instead of eliminating. Stop doing what is no longer serving you or getting you to where you want to go, so that you can prioritize those habits and those commitments that you want to become consistent in. Consistency is a skill. It becomes a habit of recommitting. We commit to recommitting. but it's really hard to do when we're bogged down by all the extra stuff that we've added that no longer serves us. So clarity, every 30 days, take 30 minutes, take 3 minutes, take 5 minutes to say, what can I automate, delegate, or delete from what I'm doing right now, what is no longer serving me in the season that I'm in, and what I am prioritizing and contending for. And as always, so I'm going to stop there. That was a lot of information, guys. I hope some of it were some nuggets that you guys could take and just start running with. I want to know in the comments, what stuck out to you? What concept, what idea, was there a mindset that came up with you? Was there a fear that came up? I had a lot of fear around this when I first started really contending and working at it. Is there a skill that you need to understand better? Is there a habit that you need to work on in order to elevate you? Is what stood out? Share in the comments, please. I would love to know what stood out for you about what I just covered in the last several minutes. And then I want to leave you with this. Okay, I think we all are fully equipped to do this, but there's a reason why we're not yet doing it. I have always found in my life that I would try, and I keep hitting that brick wall and I keep coming up against that glass ceiling, and I would never push through by myself. So this is the power of a coach. This is the power of accountability external to yourself. And this is the power of bringing others alongside you. So I think these three things, no matter what you're contending for in your life, are integral to elevating, to going beyond where you currently are. So you've gotten this far by yourself. That's amazing, incredible. But if you are feeling like there's a next level that you want to create, it takes a coach, a pro, it takes external accountability, somebody calling you out on what you're not doing and what you are doing that goes against what you said you wanted. And it takes bringing others along the journey with you. It takes saying to mom, to dad, to brother, to sister, hey, I'm working on this. I'm contending for this. If you see me operating different than that, call me out. Okay? There's so much power in putting things out in the universe. So a lot of information today, guys. I hope you enjoy Choose You, Create What You Crave, the consistency code. I really feel like when you start applying these things as a new habit in your life, if you commit to recommitting, if you simplify, you're going to amplify. If you do those things, it really means that choosing you is the catalyst that's going to drive you forward in life. So keep choosing you, keep creating what you crave, and reach out if you have questions. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Take care.